Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. What's going on, family? Shalom, shalom. Blessings to you all. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Just got off the phone with a dear brother, and he's seen the last show, and he shared his heart. And so I'm very, very excited to had talked to that brother, man. So we know, scripture saying all I get and get understanding. And so I want to make sure every time you leave one of these shows, one of these podcasts, you have an understanding of something, and so it's not to divide or conquer or anything like that. It's just to inform so we can know, what to pray about, you know what I'm saying? I know this show is this information is probably old news by now about your sister Whoopi Goldberg right here, suspended for 2 weeks. Was her statement offensive? Suspended for 2 weeks. Was her statement offensive? I'm gonna share the video, and then you can just let me know what you think. But let me share this video real quick so we can see what's going on.
Breaking news overnight. The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg suspended for 2 weeks for her comments about the Holocaust. Ariel Reshef has the story. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, George. Though Goldberg has apologized, her comments sparked a firestorm, some seeing this as a troubling sign of fading understanding about the horrors of the Holocaust.
This morning, ABC News suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks in response to her inflammatory remarks about the Holocaust. ABC News President Kim Godwin saying in a statement, effective immediately, I am suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities.
If you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
On Monday's show, the host of ABC's The View inaccurately claimed the Holocaust was not related to race.
It's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about. Whoopi Goldberg.
Goldberg appearing to double down on the Colbert Show that night.
The American experience tends to be based on skin.
Yes. And so that is what race means to me. Mm-hmm. When you talk about being a racist, I was saying you can't call this racism. This was evil. Mm-hmm. This wasn't based on the skin. You couldn't tell who was Jewish. Mm-hmm. They had to delve deeply to figure it out.
Then tweeting an apology, saying in part, the Jewish people around the world have always had my support, and that will never waver. I'm sorry for the hurt I have caused. And the next day, opening The View with this.
I said that the Holocaust wasn't about race, and it was instead about man's inhumanity to man. But it is indeed about race, because Hitler and the Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race. Now, words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected. I also stand with the Jewish people, as they know and y'all know, because I've always done that.
By the end of the Holocaust, just 77 years ago, 6 million Jews had been murdered.
That might not fit exactly or feel different than the way we think about race in 21st century America, where primarily it's about people of color. But throughout the Jewish people's history, they have been marginalized. They have been persecuted. They have been slaughtered in large part because many people felt they were not just a different religion, but indeed a different race.
The head of the Anti-Defamation League warning anti-Semitism is still a real and present danger.
We need people in good faith on the left and the right to call this out forcefully, fully, without hesitation.
And studies show an alarming decline in knowledge about the Holocaust at a time when anti-Semitism has surged to unprecedented levels. The FBI saying Jews are the most targeted for religious-based hate crimes in this country. And George, as you heard there, Goldberg saying she regrets her comments and any hurt they may have caused.
Yes, she did. Okay, Ariel, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here.
Let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. It's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other.
Whoopi Goldberg facing growing outrage after declaring the Holocaust was not about race, despite 6 million people who were murdered for being Jewish. Here to react, Fox News contributor and civil rights attorney Leo Terrell. Good morning, Leo.
Hi, Carly. Thanks for having me.
I was so happy to see you. What's your reaction to this situation?
Well, let me use Whoopi's word. Let's be truthful. She marginalized the death of 6 million Jews. And what makes it insulting is she provides cover for those who are anti-Semitic, those who really try to downplay that the Nazis tried to systemically eliminate every Jew on this planet. And here's the part that's upsetting, Carly. She'll get a pass. She'll get a pass from the Hollywood left because she's a progressive and she's black, and she'll be given a pass. They're trying to get rid of Joe Rogan, but they're going to allow her to maintain this anti-Semitic rhetoric as if nothing happened. Her apology is not enough. The damage has been done.
Yeah, that's right. Well, she was on the Late Show last night. She tried to clarify her remark. Take a listen to what she had to say.
I feel being black, when we talk about race, it's a very different thing to me. So I said that I felt that the Holocaust wasn't about race. People were very angry, and they said, no, we are a race. And I understand. I understand. I felt differently.
She says that she understands the criticism. You don't think that's an acceptable response, or do you?
Oh, absolutely. Look, she used her race. I feel that I'm black. See, she's using her race as a cover. Let me sit here and say this. Whoopi Goldberg missed, apparently, world history class in high school. Okay, I feel as a black man, as a civil rights attorney, and as a history teacher, that what she said was anti-Semitic, racist, and downplayed that 6 million people were murdered, and their ancestors will never have any type of satisfaction of resolution. It's an attempt to ignore what happened 70 years ago. This world should never forget that a madman tried to eliminate a religious group off the face of this earth. Yeah. This is crazy. And her race will not protect her. I don't know what ABC is going to do, Carly, but let me tell you right now, just apologizing and hiding behind her race is not enough.
Yeah, you know, I was going to ask you about that, because what are your thoughts really on the calls to fire her? Because on one hand, like as we're seeing, she really upset a lot of people for what she had to say, but conservatives also speak out against firing people for saying controversial things or making mistakes.
Listen, I'm not calling for her termination from The View. I think that her late night apology, a lot of people didn't see it. This is what I'm calling for. Treat liberals the way you treat conservatives. Treat Whoopi Goldberg the way the left is treating Joe Rogan. Let's have a uniform fairness of letting people speak the way they want to. And we all know what Whoopi Goldberg said was racist and anti-Semitic, but hey, don't fire people just because of their outrageous comments. Let them speak.
Yeah, let them speak. And that's right. To combat things that you don't like, you speak out. More speech rather than less is always the answer. Leo, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Carly.
All right.
Hi, I'm Brian Kilmeade.
All right, I had to get my mic unmuted. Oh, civil rights attorney Leo Terrell. I don't know where they find these people at, man. I really just, I don't know. It's very, very interesting. Says she needs to apologize and hide behind your race is not enough. I don't know what you guys think. What do you think? What did she say something that was off? And then they're saying that happened 70 years ago. And again, the whole never forget thing going on. Like, we must never forget what happened to them. And it was a bad thing. I seen the pictures, right? I seen the pictures of mounds of shoes and mounds of people getting thrown in ditches. I seen it. So I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I'm just like, well, man, it's like he's such a monster, this, that, and the other, and Hitler, this, that, and the other. The whole, but we never hear about Leopold. I guarantee you, out of everybody watching this, at least 3 people have never heard on King Leopold. who went over there and systematically wiped out the Bantu Israelites over there in the Congo, cut their hands off because they didn't want to harvest the rubber trees. And I'm not making it about race. I'm not making it about us. I just think that this is a very, very interesting thing how in the midst of Black History Month and critical race theory, and some libraries down in Texas are removing certain books, like eliminating certain books, and some of those books got to do with slavery and different things like that. You know what I mean? They're removing the books, but then you want us to never forget the Holocaust. Again, I'm not being insensitive. I seen the pictures. It happened, but this place is terrible. This is her statement again. On today's show, I said the Holocaust is not about race, but man's inhumanity to man. I should have said it's about both, as Dr. Greensblatt from the Anti-Defamation League shared. The Holocaust was about the Nazi systematic annihilation of the Jews, who are deemed to be an inferior race. I stand corrected. The Jewish people around the world have always had my support and will never waver. I'm sorry for the hurt I've caused. You know what I'm saying? She had to go back and, I know it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. And freedom of speech don't work for people that's got platforms. It seems like same thing they did to Nick Cannon that was brought out as well. Nick Cannon said some things. He had Professor Griff on the show. He had to go back and apologize because he didn't want to lose his the Masked Singer contract and taking Wilding out and threatening to give it to somebody else. And it's just a mess because somebody said something to hurt your feelings. I'm like, yeah, join the club, And I'm not coming from a place of bitterness, anger, frustration, none of that. But it's very, very interesting. That's why I've heard this before too. It's the difference between racism and being prejudiced. Racism can change your whole jive, right? Being prejudiced is like, I don't like him because she said this. I don't like her because she did that. But racism is systematic. Like people lost scholarships, people lose jobs. You know what I mean? She had to take her statement back. She had to take her statement back immediately, even if she don't really feel that way. Oh, I'm sorry. She might be at home still feeling that way, but everybody mad and uproar, and I don't even know what that brother Leo Terrell was on. Brother was just angry. I'm just like, wow, bro. I don't even know why he was just that angry and frowned up. He more frowned up what happened to them than his own people, man. But racism is different than prejudice. So we praying against. We know it's a spirit, So people are gonna be, you took your eyes off Republican Jesus and you back on the flesh. Please don't do that to me. We just sharing, we just chopping it up. You know what I mean? So I want to show y'all something else though, before we get out of here. They keep saying 6 million Jews, 6 million Jews. So the number, again, I seen the picture, it's very bad. I seen the pictures, it's very bad. I seen it. I seen the pictures of the Holocaust. Crazy, terrible, bad. I'm not comparing it between what happened to us, cattle slavery, and what happened to them. Very terrible, right? But I think something that's very interesting. I think that happened. I think about the number. The 6 million is getting tossed around or not, right? If you'd be called a Holocaust denier and go to jail and go to court and get hit with fines, you know what I mean? They got a whole system behind them, right? These cats own the banks, the radios, the news, Hollywood, the media. They hold the media. They got the media. Majority of the lion's share of the media. So you say anything against them, it's on and popping. Like I don't even know if this show, I ain't said nothing off the hook, so they shouldn't say nothing about this show. But that number, that 6 million, that's 6 million. That thing had happened in 1948, right? Or before, a little bit before 1948. So you want to say 1945, 46. Hitler is supposed to have did all this different thing. But I'm gonna share some documents with you. It's very, 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 very interesting. Oh, there we go. So, the language of 6 million this, 6 million Jews, right? Or whatever. This is a document that I have right here, and it was from the New York Times, published in 1905. Right? Let's look up it. It says, you might can't see it till this thing go away. Let's see. It says 1905, right? And let's look at the language on this. And this thing is talking about the most hated man in Russia. And it's just a little article they was talking about. And then look in the red. It says from 1890 to 1902 has caused 6 million Jewish families to be expelled from Russia and sent thousands of Poles to Serbia, which was a record for Orthodox Russians, and so on and so forth. But this was written in 1905, before the Holocaust. But that still says something about 6 million. 6 million in there. Let's look at this another one. The end of Zionism. This was a Jewish preacher's view of the uprising of Russia. Right? It says January, I don't know, I can't get up to the top, but it says January 29th, 1905, right? This was before the Holocaust. He declared a free and a happy Russian with its 6 million Jews would possibly mean the end of Zionism, since the abolition of autocracy would practically eliminate the causes that brought Zionism to existence. And then it goes on to say, Russia said he seemed to prefer his own bloody experience and learning the power of the people to profiting by the experience and the history of other nations. So if you know anything about what's going on, they were really trying to get, the Khazar people was trying to get a state, a place to live. You know what I mean? So they had these different meetings and stuff. But this show is not about that. But I'm saying the language, right? It talked about saying something else about 6 million ish. 6 million, and this was 1905. This is before 1940. See, can I get another one? Appeal for aid for Jews. American committee tells tales of suffering due to the war. American Jewish Relief Committee called into being at a conference of more than 100 national Jewish organizations, which held at the Temple of Emmanuel on October 21st, to consider the plight of more than 6 million Jews who lived within the war zone, was elected Lewis Marshall chairman. And they go on and go on. But this one was written in December the 2nd, 1914. I think it was another one. Is it another one? Oh, okay. This one was written in October the 18th, 1918. $1 billion, I think that's $1 billion fund to rebuild Jewry. 6 million souls will need help to resume life as normal when the war ended. So this was after the World War I. So I said all that to say, and I can send those to you if you want. I said all that to say that language of 6 million. I'm not a Holocaust denier. Please listen to me. I'm not a Holocaust denier. I'm not trying to say it didn't happen, but it's very interesting. The language, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million, in different articles before the Holocaust happened. It's very, very interesting. So, I mean, you might say, what? But I just think that, I remember going to the Million Man March, and it was very interesting. Not because, I was of the Muslim faith, or I wasn't Muslim. I was just going out there just to, hang out and be a part of historical thing. And it was literally, it was 1 million people out there, right? It might not have been 1 million men. Matter of fact, I think it might have been 1 million men, but it was 1 million people out there, show up for real. And they try to come back and say, oh, it was only like 500,000. No, wall-to-wall people everywhere. I know it was 1 million people out there. we took a couple of bus loads out there, right? So I know it was 1 million people out there. And so that's crazy how they try to discredit that. But then they try to say, oh, it was 6 million of us that we this, that, and that. So the language of these articles before 1945 makes me think like, is this a number that's planted in their head? And was it really 6 million? Right? I know it happened, but it might not have been 6 million. I don't know. I don't know if that's considered the Holocaust denier and they're going to snatch this video. I'm not being a Holocaust denier. Just very, very interesting. You want those articles? I'll send them to you. But it's right on the head, right on the money. 6 million this, 6 million that, 6 million this. And it's the same thing. And they had different meetings. The global Zionists had different meetings because they needed a state. You know what I mean? They was getting pushed out. They got pushed out of well, that's a whole nother different story, you know. They got pushed out of pretty much what Crimea is right now with the Ukraine and all the where they battling the stuff at. That was Khazaria. Some of that area was Khazar, where the Khazar people come from the descendants of Japheth. And if you read about Japheth in Genesis 10, but I don't want to make it a whole nother show. But that's very, very interesting. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what y'all think about that. I think that's very, very interesting. The same language. You know what I mean? 6 million, 6 million, over 4 or 5 different newspaper articles prior to the actual Holocaust. They was talking about 6 million this they could have said 5 million this, 300,000 that, this, that, and the other, but they kept saying 6 million. So it almost sounded like it was a figure that was in their mind. You know, 6 million people lost their lives or whatever. And we're not going to even go into the reparations that's still being paid out to the people that's occupying the land of the Rev 29s that's occupying the land in Israel right now. So that's a whole nother different story. But we'll get into that too, man. Let me know if y'all want to chat about that, man. We can get up and talk about that. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation, dealing with elephants in the room. I am out. Perfect.